Now our 23 ABC's signature issue, homelessness. The Bakersfield-Kern Regional Homeless Collaborative releasing its latest point-in-time count of our local homeless population. 23 ABC's Ruby Rivera has more on this year's count and how the organization is working to find solutions.
The 2023 point-in-time count found a 0.2% of the population in Kern County experiencing homelessness. That's a little under 2,000 people. Now, with these numbers, the state will determine how much funding the county will receive in future funding allocations for unsheltered residents.
Us as service providers, we get to see, okay, what areas do we need to really strategize and hone into.
Executive Director for the mission at Kern County, Carlos Baldovino, says this year's count saw an increase in volunteers and additional time to complete it. The count is typically done within a 12-hour time period. However, this year it was conducted over a 4-day period. Baldovino says new strategies were implemented, including having volunteers go out to rural areas of Bakersfield.
You have organizations like the mission at Kern County, the Open Door Network. More emergency beds have been added. You have more apartment units, affordable housing have been added. Yes, we still have, some work to do. We have a lot of work to do.
This year's PIC count found a 22% increase in homeless people as opposed to last year. 52% were found unsheltered, whereas 48% of people were counted as sheltered. Out of the 48%, 37.5% of people were in emergency sheltering and 10.5% were in transitional housing. The PIC count was conducted on January 25th. Baldovino says the mission, along with other organizations, have already started making efforts to try and shelter more people.
Then we were just relying on just data that we had on a database. This, we were able to go out even to the riverbeds, which, you're having to go out there because they're not coming to you to get counted. We're having to go out there.
Baldovino says it's important to remember that the PIC count is only a snapshot of the homeless population, but he says it's still a great resource. In regard to helping the homeless, Baldovino wants to remind the public that there are numerous resources out there ready to provide assistance.
Take advantage of these services. They're there to help people, just like the mission, just like many others. These are organizations that are there to help people in need. So don't hold back. Just go get some help.
Organizers of the collaborative say that although there was a 22% increase in this year's PIT count, this could stem from the increase of volunteers and the creation of strategies to count both rural areas as well as metro areas. In Bakersfield, Ruby Rivera, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Now, if you or someone you know is experiencing homelessness, you can visit us online at turn223.com for information on the resources available. Homelessness isn't only an issue in Kern County. You find it statewide, with California being home to more people than any other state in the country. We now take an in-depth look into how substantial homelessness is statewide. According to a report by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, California accounted for 30% of the nation's homeless population in 2022. It also had 50% of the country's unsheltered homeless people. California had 9 times more unsheltered people than Washington State, which has the next highest number in the U.S., that being 115,000 people compared to nearly 13,000 people.